if you're here, if you're watching this, you are probably wondering how to use Facebook to actually make the sales that you want in your business. And I see so many people doing this wrong that today I am here to talk to you about how to do it right so that you can make sales, so that you can grow your business, and you can do it in a way that feels good. And you can do it in a way that works for you. My name's Christine McAllister. If we haven't met, I am the Huffington Post featured founder of Life with Passion, and I help high-achieving women to grow online businesses so that they can quit and stay out of their jobs, replace their incomes, and grow and scale beyond that. So I'd love for you, if you're watching live or on the replay, to let me know, to say hello, and to start dropping your questions about Facebook. My community has asked a lot of questions, and we're gonna dive into those. But I'm also going to share some real life examples of what I've done wrong, of what I see other people doing wrong, and what you can learn to do right instead to grow your business. Hi, Heather. Hi, Anita. Thanks for being here. Love it, love it, love it. I want you to be spending your time in ways that work, not in ways that don't. And what I see is way more people are doing it wrong than are doing it right. I want to help you to cut out what isn't working and to do what is instead. Because again, I see way more people doing this wrong than right. At this point in my business, my audience is over 10,000. It's probably more than that, but I didn't count it up exactly. That may be big or that may be small to you, but here's the thing. I'm seeing a ton of stuff happening, like with interactions on Facebook, both people reaching out to me reaching out to them, and I'm finding what is working to get people reaching out to say, oh, please, can we work together? Like, how can I hop on a call to work with you? How can I buy your stuff? And I'm also seeing people reach out to me and try to sell me stuff in ways that feel really icky, and also people offer me things in ways that feel really good. So let's talk about these strategies. Let's dive in. And if you have questions live or on the replay, I want you to pop them in below. All right. So one of the things that I see people doing wrong, and I will admit I was totally guilty of this, is just friend requesting everyone who had a bunch of mutual friends with me or with you, and then never following up or responding to them and actually getting to know them. Has anybody else ever been guilty? Like, oh, I see all these mutual friends. I can really quickly increase my audience if I just hit like, request friend, request friend, request friend, but then like never doing anything with those and like basically letting them just be a number. Has anybody ever been guilty of that? Because I know that there was a time in my business when I totally was, and I'm okay to admit that, and also to tell you it doesn't work, so don't do it. There is a targeted way to add friends, but quality beats quantity. Quality beats quantity. For instance, I friend request everybody who asks to join my Facebook group because I want to get to know them. And I also know that in the Facebook algorithm, if we're friends, they're more likely to see my posts in the group. So that's a strategy way, but also a very important like relationship way. If they're going to be in my group, I really do want to get to know them. And I haven't hit the limit of 5,000 Facebook friends yet, although that will happen in 2018. And so I still want them. They still get to be part of like my inner circle on Facebook. I want to get to know them and help them feel even more welcome as part of my community. So that's your first strategy, okay? Another thing that I see people doing wrong is asking for something first. Asking for something first. Have you ever been the victim of this? Let me know in the comments. I see more people jumping on. Hi, hi, hi. Hi, Meredith. Hi, Meryl. Hi, Lamorla. Nice to see you all. I got my Christmas mug. What I see happening is, and I'm just gonna say, like, one of the industries that I see this happening a lot with is MLM or direct sales. Like, if you're an MLMer, if you're in direct sales network marketing and you do this, stop. It doesn't work. And if you don't do this, yay, okay? I was talking to a connection that I made last week with a woman who is super, super high up in her network marketing company, has been doing it for a long time, has retired her husband, and you know how she does it? She invests highly in a small team. She invests personal development and coaches a small team of high achieving women. So she does that. She doesn't sit on Facebook all day and make new friends, and then the minute they request, the minute they confirm, send them a message and say, oh, I'm looking for a group of beta testers to try this thing, or I'm running a special and I wonder if you want it. No, I don't want it. I don't know you. I don't like you. I don't trust you yet. I'm not spending my money with you. I have no idea who you are, right? So like, don't ask first. Don't make the ask first. If you're making a personal connection on Facebook, that is a way to feel slimy. That is a way to be icky. That is a way to get unfriended. I'm just going to be honest with you about that. And I have unfriended people who've done that to me before. Not just MLMers, but like other people too. You know, would you be interested in this? Would you be interested in that? No, I'm not interested in this or that. I have no idea who you are. Okay? So, don't ask first. Like, this is a bit of a longer game, you all. I think that a lot of times we're taught that there are all these shortcuts in business. I'm plugging in my phone. All these shortcuts in business. And you know what? It's okay for us to want there to be, because we want fast results, right? But like, I see a lot of people talking about Facebook bots right now and how cool those are. I'll tell you what, if I get a message right away from somebody who I can tell has a Facebook bot, it kind of weirds me out. I want to be connected to a real person. And a bot, if you don't know what that is, don't worry about it, because I don't like them, at least right now for where my business is, okay? So don't ask first. Don't offer first. Get to know someone. You all, I want to share the example that totally inspired this Facebook Live, okay? I want to share the example that totally inspired this Facebook Live. I'm not sharing names, but here's what happened. So I shared something about what freedom, why I want to be an entrepreneur and why I love being an entrepreneur. And I'm going to see if I have it right here, because I think it's like a really amazing, I'm really proud of the definition. Okay. I'm going to look it up while we're talking. But anyway, there's a group that I'm a part of, not my own. So sorry, you can't find it in there. But there's a group that I'm a part of that has, that asked, hey, what does being an entrepreneur mean to you? And so I answered. And I'm going to pull it up because it's really good. Sorry, I didn't pull it before, but like, where is it? Okay. All right. Here's what I said. Here's the question. Why did you become an entrepreneur? What's the real reason other than just money? And I responded, freedom, and impact. To work where I want, when I want, wearing what I want, and to know that my results come from my efforts, not someone else's arbitrary or unrelated choice. Like, that is it in a nutshell for me, right? I love being an entrepreneur for these reasons, okay? So I shared that. Somebody resonated with it and posted a supportive comment afterward. And so I was like, oh, cool, like, thanks, you know, that's awesome. I'm so glad that you resonate. And I creeped on her timeline a little bit, because that's what we do, right? I was like, she looks like somebody I would maybe like to be friends with. So I friend requested her, okay? Really shortly after she posted that comment and after I had friend requested her, she writes me back and she's like, thanks for connecting, Christine. Why did you? What made you reach out? And I was like, well, that's kind of weird. Like, she obviously just already forgot, you know, that she had commented on my thing, but that's fine. You know, I'm not great with names. Like, we're a new connection, whatever. All right, fine. So I wrote her back and I said, well, you commented on my post in such and such a group. And like, I just, you know, I figured we resonate and I like to get to know you better. So, great, whatever. So then, we're like human to human on Facebook Messenger, right? And so I said, I'd love to hear a little bit more about what you do. And you know what? She wrote me back and she said, well, go check out my Facebook page if you want to know more about what I do. And I was like, that doesn't feel good. Like, we're having a human-human conversation right here. She didn't even include a link to her Facebook page. Go check out my Facebook page if you want to know more about what I do. It's not as pretty or fancy as yours, but I show up in business like I show up in life. So basically, She doesn't even tell me what she does. She doesn't even make it easy for me. And then she insults my page, which she's obviously looked at. And I was like, 0 things about this feel good for me. 0 things. Thank you, honey. My husband just brought me my notes because the printer wasn't working. 0 things about this feel good for me. Have you guys ever had an experience like that? I was just in shock. Because here I am, like, taking my time to get to know this person, like, connect with her. And first of all, she doesn't even remember that she commented, whatever. I gave her grace for that because we're all busy. I respond, and then she doesn't even tell me what she does. She can't even tell me her little elevator pitch. I have to go look at her business Facebook page. Like, which she doesn't even include a link to. And then she insults mine and saying, like, oh, well, it's not as fancy as yours, but I show up in business how I show up in life. And I was like, I'm done with you. And also, thank you so much for giving me such great content to go share with my community. And so we're here. We're here. And that is how you do Facebook wrong, my friends. That is how you do Facebook wrong. Because as somebody pointed out to me this morning on one of my posts, like, face is in the name of Facebook, right? Which is why I had this conversation in my groups, in my community about why you should have your face in your personal profile as opposed to someone else. Face is in the name. It's all about personal connections online, okay? We are connecting person to person, human to human. If you say something like, oh, if you want to know more about me, you need to go join my Facebook group, or hi, it's great to connect with you, come over to my Facebook group. No, I don't know you yet. Why would I, right? Like, I have my own Facebook group. Like, I love my community. I serve my community. Like, I'm going to be really selective about the places where I put my time and attention, energy, and focus, right? I have a lot of friends, like, who are newer to their business building journey and who are ahead of me in their business building journey. And the way we became friends was not doing any of these strategies that are kind of lazy or all obviously have a hidden agenda. Am I right? Like, obviously have a hidden agenda that's not so hidden. The way we became friends was like being real people. Oh my gosh, I love this thing that you did. I love this podcast episode that you had. I love this article that you wrote. Like, I love this about you. We took the time to get to know something about each other and find that common ground first. Okay? Kara says, yeah, I'm probably on meds or off. Oh gosh, I hope not. Oh, I hope she's okay. I hope it was just like a mistake, right? Okay. Yeah. So Heather says, I friend request people that I connect with or have something in common during a discussion post. I love that, Heather. And then you're like, all right, you're probably available to like PM with them and get to know them a little better, right? So I'll ask people like, what do you do? And I'll share with them very simply what I do. I help women grow their businesses. I help them quit and stay out of their jobs. I'm not looking for like a super like long response. I'm looking for like, if I met you at a cocktail party or a networking event, like that's how I'm going to introduce it. That's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to like overwhelm you. If you want to know more, you'll ask, right? Like there's no pressure here. It's just PMing. Is this helpful for you guys? Is this helpful? I'm going to get to your questions, but let me know. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is so funny. So I'm on Facebook, right? And I literally just got a message that popped up in my messenger and said, I keep seeing your posts and I wanted to reach out. I'm looking for people to try out some amazing products. This would be a huge help to me. I have no idea who you are. I have no idea who you are. Like what, like not to be like mean, but like, I'm super focused on supporting my community and my clients. Like, this is awesome. I love that that just happened. It's so funny. I'm super focused on like supporting my community and supporting my clients. Like, those are the people I help. You all are who I take a stand for if you're watching this right now. Not like, think about the value that you're adding. Think about the value you're providing. I have no idea what she's selling. I don't know if she's selling like something that's going to make my boobs bigger, which like I might respond to her about. Let's be honest. If you watch last week's Facebook Live, you'll understand what I'm talking about. If you didn't, go watch it. How to have fear and self-doubt and perfectionism and build a six-figure business anyway, right? But I don't know if like, you know, I have no idea, right? Why do I care? And I'm not being mean. Like, if you guys know me, you know, like, I'm a super nice person, but I'm also going to call it like I see it. And thank you for all the like laughing, you know, faces and hearts that let me know that you understand. Okay. All right, so now that we had that little detour, let's go back to my content. That was real time happening, you guys. Okay, so my question for you is, how do you interact with people on Messenger? Okay, here's the thing. My PM box is pretty busy. So like, I'm totally happy to connect with people who are asking me real questions, but I'm not happy to respond to stuff like that. I just don't have time for it, and I don't have interest in it, and it's a no for me, okay? Real people connections are what sell. This is how you connect with people who come to you ready to buy from you or hire you, okay? Real people connections, being a real person. There is no substitute for this. There is no shortcut for this. At the beginning of my business and still now, it is person to person. That continues to this day. Just yesterday, I also got a message from somebody who's so beautiful and has like a complementary business to mine. And I was on her podcast a while ago and I just loved her. And I reached out to her a few months ago and said, hey, I want to connect again, you know? And she was like, yeah, that'd be great, but I'm super busy right now, right? She reached out to me yesterday. She's like, I'm ready for that call right now. Like, let's do it soon. You know, she's expecting her second baby and she wants to connect before that baby's born. So great. I sent her a link to my connection call calendar. We're going to do it. We're going to reconnect. And that feels really, really good. So be willing to connect with people before and, ahead of you and behind you in business always. And Facebook's a great way to do that because a lot of us are, if you're watching this, you're probably using Facebook to build your business or you want to, right? So we're sold these ideas of systems of like, this is, the system, this is the script on Facebook, but like they are no substitute, just like bots. They are no substitute for real human connection, which is what people buy when they are buying a service from you, okay? So pay attention. If you're commenting on other people's posts, like be open to that. I did an interview this morning for a summit that's coming up in January. A super awesome interview. And the guy asked me, like, are you on Facebook? Do you have a personal profile? And I said, yeah, I do. And he said, cool, I'm going to friend request you. And I was like, cool. Like I have a ton of friend requests from people I don't know. A lot of which I don't accept, but I looked for his specifically and it was already there. Like he said he was going to do it. He did it. I accepted him right away. All right. So, another piece is like being too busy to connect with people for real. Like, I think that honestly at the beginning of my business, I was kind of taught, like maybe this is one of the not great things I was taught by my first coach is to be super, super boundaried and like not respond to people who just wanted to connect. And I can now say like that wasn't right for me in my stage of business. Now, maybe it was right for her because she was working with 4 or 5 times as many clients as I ever would want to. So she had to be super, super strict with her time, and that was one of the ways that she did it. But it doesn't feel good for me. This happened to me. Another real life example. Okay, somebody reached out to me. We're in a mutual program together. She reached out to me and she said, I'd love to be a part of your Facebook group and I'd love to contribute value over there. And if it feels good, like come on over to mine and let's support each other. Cool, right? Like she's super successful. I was like, oh, this is exciting. Like I appreciate the individual PM. Yeah, totally. I reached out to her and I joined her group. Her group joining questions had an offer of like, one of her questions was like, do you want a discovery call? It was basically like a sales offer, which like, I don't know. That was a little weird for me because I was like, I don't know you. Like, no, I don't want a discovery call, but I do want to connect. I do want to connect on a call because you reached out to me, you PM me, like you're going to be in my group, I'm going to be in yours. We're already in this mutual group together thing, this program. And so let's connect. So I put it in there. I said, no, I'm not interested in like hiring you as my coach, but I would love to connect and find out more about what you do because we're in this group together and I'd love to connect. Her assistant wrote me back like a week later and said she's too busy to connect for anything but discovery calls. So if you're not interested in that, then no, she can't connect with you. I was like, but girlfriend like PM'd me, asked to be in my group, wanted me to be in hers. And now she's too busy to like take it to the next level? That doesn't feel good. I have a bad taste in my mouth about that one too, right? Now every time I see her name, I'm like, ugh. So weird. Right? Like not aligned at all, not being a real person, stopping at the point when we could deepen this relationship. Stopping at the point when we might be able to find ways to refer people to each other. Like, and maybe you guys don't do any of these things, but just think about, are you behaving like a real person in your business and on Facebook? Like that is what it comes down to. Being a real, genuine person. being nice, being kind, being available for building relationships. Because you know what? My clients work with me for a long time. Like when they come to me, they work with me for a long period of time. Most of them, the large majority of them, work with me for more than 1 6-month period. We get really, really close. But you know what? We don't start that relationship by me doing one of the things I've just described to you in the last 20 minutes. The relationships never start that way, right? They start real. Sometimes they take time. I never ask for someone to pull out their credit card on the call where we're talking about working together. I want them to think about it. I want them to feel really good about their investment. I want them to feel safe and comfortable asking questions. I want them to know that I'm going to be there for them right now and whenever they're ready to work with me, right? Assuming I have spots available. Like, I want to be real. I want to be transparent. I want to be genuine. I want to be authentic. And I know if you're watching this and you're part of my community, that's what you want too. Like, that's what you want too, because these sleazy techniques do not lead to like a long-term successful viable business, right? Can I get an amen? All right, let me check my comments here. Kara says thank you. Awesome. Heather says this is great. Thank you, Heather, for that feedback. Thank you for the hearts. I see them. I love them. And the laughy faces in the comments. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad to know this is helpful for you, because this is why I'm doing it. This is why I'm here, you guys, between calls. And I am going to jump off in about 20 minutes because I got to go get some lunch before my group coaching call. But I want to answer your questions as well. Meryl says, in my saddle sales, should I friend request if someone just asks about a saddle? I don't know, Meryl. You can creep out on their time. You can creep on their timeline if you want. It's a little different with a business page versus a group, because they're not necessarily going to see the posts more if they like your page and they're your friend versus if they're in your, if you had a group and, you know, etc. So like, I think, if you want, but like if they buy from you, you might want to be friends with them. You know, you just might want to be connected with them because that's like a real person to person, engagement and transaction that's been had. Meryl says, I messenger back any saddle question ASAP. Yeah, great. You get that little thing on your business page. It's like very responsive to messages. And that's awesome. That gives people a lot of comfort that they're going to hear back from you quickly. Hi, Jen. Yeah, Nancy, it was so rude. Thank you. Britta says, amen. That's awesome. Feeding baby Verity and listening. Oh, kisses to Britta and Verity. So sweet. Okay. All right, let's see where else we go. Okay. So, on the note of like, you're too busy to talk to me, I want to say something. All right. So I've spent a lot of time building connections with people that I have leveraged, right? Like by providing value, by, you know, getting featured here on, like getting featured on Ariana Huffington, getting featured on Entrepreneurs on Fire, getting featured on Thrive, getting featured on this, whatever, winning something from Noah Kagan, who's like a big time online marketer. He was employee number 30 at Facebook, and then he went on to like create his own big thing. You know what? I can count on getting a response to an email that I send to any one of these people. Ariana Huffington, John Lee Dumas, the host of Entrepreneurs on Fire, who has an audience of millions, and Noah Kagan. Like, I can count on if I send them an email, I'm going to hear back. Now, I don't care if they have a system in place where they say, you know, they dictate it to their assistant, or their assistant knows they're going to respond personally. Like, they are not too busy to respond to me. Why are some of these other people who are not Ariana Huffington, John Lee Dumas, and Noah Kagan, right? Like there's such a disconnect there, right? Because those people know that you build business based on relationships. You build business based on relationships. So don't pretend like you're too busy when these people aren't. Okay. All right. Real person-to-person feedback is what makes this work. Also, I'm going to give you an example in my group. I have people who will come over and drop stuff and they're not engaged in the group. And maybe sometimes they are going to get, maybe sometimes they get comments, but guess what? They never come back to respond to them. I delete their post. If you're going to post something in my group, I want to know that you're going to come back and check your notifications. It's not hard. Check your notifications and respond to people who have commented on your post, or go search for your name in the group if it's a busy, engaged group like mine is, and see if anyone commented on your post and write back, because that's how you build relationships. This just happened. Last week, someone posted something in my group that got like several comments, and people were like, oh, I'm interested. Oh, that sounds interesting. Tell me more. She didn't come back to the group in a couple days. I deleted the post. I was like, this doesn't feel good. People are asking wanting to know more. And if she's not even responding to them, she might be PMing them, which is fine if she wants to PM them some information. But if she doesn't respond so that everybody else in the group can learn and grow and get value out of it, she's out. Like, I deleted her posts. And if she keeps doing it, I'll kick her out of the group. It's my group, it's my rules, right? Value, value, value. Be a real person. Don't drop and run. If you're in a group, don't drop and run. Engage. You all who are in my Facebook group, you're super engaged. That's what makes it such an amazing place to be, that feels like a real community where people really get to know each other, where people really buy from each other and support each other and encourage each other, right? That's what this is all about. That's what these strategies are all about. That's why I run my group the way I do. Okay. Also, people inviting me to like their page if I don't know them. I'm not going to like your page if I don't know you. I'm going to like your page if I know you. I'm happy to do that. Like, it's not a thing for me, but if I don't know you, I'm not going to like your page because I have no idea who you are. Again, don't just go through and invite all these new friends you have if you don't actually know them. If you don't actually know them. Okay? And definitely, like we've talked about before, do not add me to your Facebook group. Girlfriend, I'm going to be out of there. And I'm never going to come over and engage, even if I'm in it. I'm just a number, so it's not going to be helpful to you. Facebook knows how engaged groups are, and it suggests the groups to more people based on how engaged the group is. So you want engagement, not numbers. Okay? All right. So don't invite people to like your page if you don't actually know them. Definitely don't add them to your group if you don't actually know them. You guys heard me rant about that before. Awesome. See what questions you guys have, and then I'm going to dive into the Q&A that my group has already asked me, because I announced yesterday that I'd be doing this and asked for questions to make it super helpful. And then if you have questions, if you're watching live and you have your own questions that have come up for you, please drop them below. I've got about another 15 minutes and I'll be hopping off. 15 minutes at the most. Okay. Yes, Meryl, business page is different than group. Jackie says, I'm here this morning loving everything you're saying. Oh, I love that you're here, Jackie. Thank you. I'm so glad it's helpful. I'm going to get to your questions in a minutia. Heather says, I've actually wondered about the same subject. I was in a webinar of Lacey Sites last week, talking, engaging, getting on calls with other ladies to see if you can connect or collaborate. Yep. I love that. Lacey is awesome at connection calls. And I think that that's a great way to lead it to, right? Totally align. Like, where do we start on Facebook? You know, connection calls, coffee chats, an awesome way to do that. I totally agree with Lacey on those strategies. And I think you can lead into connection calls very easily. Just don't be too busy for them if people ask for them, right? Am I right? Are you guys enjoying this? Is this helpful? I'm enjoying sharing this with all of you. Okay, here's a Q&A. From my community. So Sheila asks about like how to create content that feels good. Sheila, like, I think a lot of times if we sit down and we're like, now I have to come up with something to say, it can feel like a lot of pressure and it doesn't feel like fun. I would say allow yourself to be spontaneous and like share your life, share what you're enjoying in your life, share what you're working on. This has been a strategy that changing from like, I have to write 5 posts a week, and they have to look like this, and they have to feel like this, and they have to be this length, and they have to provide this kind of value, to like, I'm going to do a Facebook Live when it's fun for me or when I feel inspired. I'm going to ask a bunch of questions. I'm going to get people's feedback. I'm going to go back in and comment on them. I'm going to enjoy it. When I am, driving in the car and I come up with something I want to share, I'm going to voice memo it into my phone, and I'm going to capture it so that I can come back to it later. Like, that is way more fun, way more valuable to your audience, way more like it feels better, right, for everyone when you do it that way. And so if you feel like you forget something by the time you get back to sit down and write it, use the voice memo option in your phone, or make a note on your phone, or carry a piece of paper and a notepad with you. It doesn't have to be high tech. Have that with you in your purse, right, so that you can write it down so that you never forget. That's why I love Aqua Notes, which are in the shower, because a lot of times I really do get my best ideas in the shower. And like, I think this one right here is one. Yeah, I've got this. This is an idea for another Facebook Live that I had in the shower, and I'm not gonna, haven't done it yet, but I've got it with me so that when I'm ready, I have it. But I wrote the whole outline in the shower, right? Aqua Notes, look them up, Amazon. They're like $8. Their motto is no more good ideas down the drain, and I couldn't agree more. Right? So if you feel inspired, capture it at that time. Okay, Sheila? Whatever you're experiencing, chances are your ideal clients, your ideal customers, the people you really want to connect with are experiencing it in some way too. And they're going to appreciate that you're talking about it, right? Like, obviously you all really wanted to hear how to do Facebook wrong and what to do right instead, because you're here watching. And I know there are going to be a ton of replay viewers here too, so hi on the replay as well. But like, this is something that really is resonating, right? Because we're all wondering how to do this right in a way that doesn't feel weird, in a way that doesn't feel like any of those examples that I described, and in a way that works, right? In a way that gets people PMing you going, oh, I love your stuff. I want to connect with you. I want to talk about how we can work together. Like, I got to know, right? Because they've fallen in love with your posts, with your content, with the way you do business, because you're a real person. Okay? Rachel asked a question about like, or said like, she has a problem with like getting sucked into just scrolling this feed instead of doing her work. So Rachel, there are a lot of different ways that you could approach that. But I would say like, if you want to scroll the feed, like if that feels good for you, because it's obviously doing something for you, right? Even if it's just like calming down that overwhelm in your brain that you're feeling maybe around like getting your work done, or like, you know, it's causing you to procrastinate or whatever. A lot of different reasons for that. Like, I would say, okay, cool. Like, you don't have to just make yourself wrong for that. You can say, I'm going to set a timer. I'm going to do that. I'm going to like scroll for 10 minutes and it's going to feel really good. And it's going to feel like my guilty pleasure. And then I'm going to be done soothing myself and I'm going to go do some work. So you get to do both. So it's not wrong. And maybe you make a point to like comment on a few things too while you're scrolling, so that, you know, you're engaging with people you want to, you know, cultivate as customers, or like get to know better or connect with or whatever. So it can be both. It can totally be both. But like I always say, Facebook is like a casino with all the notifications and the dings and the whatever and the pop-ups and everything. They make it hard for you to leave. So that's why something external, like a timer on your phone, can be really helpful to stop the time suck. That make sense? Okay. Meryl asks, I'm wondering if I should be saying we in my business posts and correspondence rather than I, or if it makes no difference. We makes it sound like I have a big staff instead of what is in reality me. Meryl, I don't think it makes a big difference. I don't think it makes a big difference. I mean, so my parents just bought a car, and then you might have heard me say, like, we bought my parents' car. But my parents bought a car, and they were dealing with somebody who'd been recommended to them, who was basically like a headhunter, because they were super specific on what kind of car they wanted. And the guy that runs the company that they were working with, he has a big staff. He finds cars for people. But he also has like a used car, dealership, and like he is very, very busy. But guess what? He dealt directly with my dad. And I think, even my dad knew, okay, he's got a big staff, but he was still saying I and being a real person and whatever. And they wound up having a great experience because the owner dealt directly with my dad. So I don't think it's like, do you feel like you have to prove something, or can you, if it feels good to say we, right? Because certainly you have a lot of us here who are supporting you and cheering you on and helping, encouraging you as you build your business. But if it feels good to say I, say I. I don't think, it's not gonna make a big difference. Okay. Any more questions, you guys, as I am answering these? I don't want to miss them. So make sure you drop them. Okay. Meredith said, I created my first business page last week. Yay, Meredith! Yay! Congratulations! But now I'm wondering if I should have done a group instead, or should I do both when I set up the business page? I think I may have chosen the wrong option. Is there one that's better? I don't know what options you chose, Meredith. Business pages and groups each have very specific purposes. So, and I don't know what your business is. So I would want to know more information to help you decide whether that's right for you. But like I said, they each have very different purposes, and neither one is right or wrong. It's just like any strategy. They're just different. So if you want to share a little bit more about your business, I might be able to recommend it, but also it might require a little bit more of a deep dive, just being honest, because I wouldn't want to recommend something that you're going to spend a bunch of time around. Unless I really know what you're working on, what your goals are, where you are in your business and stuff. But I want to congratulate you on making that big first step in visibility, because I think that's super, super awesome. And by the way, you guys, if these strategies are helpful to you and you want me to customize something for your business, it's a great way to use a half-day intensive with me. So if that's something you want to find out is right for you, I'm going to drop a link to connect with me about that, to book a call to talk to me about that. And really, we just get on the phone and talk about like what working together would look like, what your goals are like, what my options are, what your options are, and what might feel good for you. If it's something you're thinking about now, if it's something you're thinking about in the new year, it's always good, I feel like, to like know your options so that you can plan, think about an investment, prepare for that, whatever. It is the end of tax year, right? So like if you're looking to maybe balance out some money that you've made with some tax write-offs or whatever before the end of the year, like that could be a good option for you as well. But here's the thing, I call it the Clarity, Confidence, and Clients Intensive because that's what it's designed to get you. Clarity, what's my best strategy? How do I use it? Confidence that it's the right strategy for you. And then typically we're going to create like a 90-day marketing plan for you if that's the way you're using the intensive. So that's really fun because you get to walk away knowing exactly how you're going to talk to your people on Facebook, who you're going to reach out to, what you're going to say. We can even create your messaging in that half day together, and you get the recording of it, plus so that you can go back, and you don't have to like be worried about taking notes and capturing everything at the time. And then you also get follow-up support with me via email afterwards. So I'm going to drop the link in there if you want to book a call with me to talk about that intensive to help you maximize your Facebook presence, what is right for you, all of those things. Book a call with me and let's talk about it. Let's talk about creating a strategy that's going to work for you and feel good and like actually bring in the clients, right? No matter where you are in your business right now. Okay? Meredith also asked if they like and don't follow your page, do they see the posts? Maybe Meredith. There are so many things that go into the Facebook algorithm, and also it changes all the time because they're trying to keep it acting like a human, just like Google does. So they could still see your post if they don't follow it, but typically when they like your page, typically they automatically follow it, like unless they choose to unfollow it. It's just like part of the way Facebook works. Jen asks, when commenting or interacting with peeps on your Facebook business page, is it better for your page engagement to comment as your business page or as your personal profile? You know what, Jen? I think the best thing is that you engage at all. And that you engage in a timely manner. Like, I'm not saying you need to be like, right here on your phone all the time, but like every day, check it. Every day, respond. I tend to like responding as my page. Just because I'm like, they commented on my page, I'm going to respond as my page. Like, that makes sense to me. But, I'm sure there are people who would say to do something different. I would say the most important thing is just that you're showing up. And that there's probably a reason that Facebook defaults to, like, you commenting as your page, right? Because then they're going to get a notification, even if they're not friends with you, that, like, Life with Passion by Christine McAllister responded to your comment on the page. Yeah, you're welcome, Meredith. You're welcome. Okay. Jackie has some questions. One is that I've heard I should be posting at least 3 times a week. If less than that, it won't even show up in their feed, so don't bother. You know what? That's based on a lot of things. Like, I would say I'd rather have you posting once a week than none. Because if I posted once a week and it had a ton of engagement, yeah, it's going to show up in other people's feeds. The Facebook shows it to a small group of people first, and based on if those people interact with it, it decides if it's going to show it to more people. Okay? So it's not as much that might be a rule, because of course the more you post, the more Facebook's going to know that you're active, and the more it's going to show it to a few people, and then with that equation, the more people are likely to see your stuff and then see your stuff and then see your stuff. But I don't think 3 times a week is a hard and fast rule. I think you've got to do something that you can be consistent with. I know people who say you have to post every day. I know people who say you need to post once a week. It really depends on your strategy. It really depends on what's doable for you as well. But I wouldn't say if you can't do it 3 times a week, don't bother. No, I would not say. What kind of content? I would share what you're working on, what you offer, and then I would share behind the scenes stuff of what you're doing. I would share stuff that's relevant to your business, but it doesn't have to be strictly the work that you're producing, the clients or whatever. I would say it could be a wide range of things. And like I was saying to Sheila earlier, let yourself be inspired, right? I think a lot of times we put a lot of pressure on ourselves about what the content has to be like to provide value. But I think, again, it comes back to being a real person, knowing what your audience wants to hear about, finds interesting. What have they engaged on in the past? Let's do more of that, right? That kind of thing. Okay. Also, when Facebook asks you to boost your post, is it a waste if you don't have a strategy behind it? Yes. 1,000% you need a strategy. 1,000% Facebook wants you to just throw money at it because it's easy. That's why they make that boost post button so easy to push, and they highlight it so much, and they ask, oh, you can reach this many more people. But listen, do not be spending any money on Facebook ads unless you already have a strategy that you know works and converts. Do not do it. Please spend your money elsewhere. Get support, right? Find somebody who's been there and hire them to help you. Like, spend your money that way, developing a strategy that actually works, because then you can use Facebook ads to scale what's working. Boost posts 99.9% of the time is not a good idea. Definitely you need a strategy behind it before you even think about pushing that button. And so then your question about, is it a waste of not posting 3 times a week? Like, it's a waste if you don't have a specific strategy, knowing exactly what you want it to do and targeting it beyond what Facebook tries to target it with. That's my strong opinion. Okay. Jackie says, that's helpful, Christine. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Yay. Okay. And Donnie says, I learned so much, Christine. You discussed things I never even thought about. Thank you. You're so welcome. Yay, yay, yay. I'm so glad you asked the question about boosting the post. Thanks a million. You are welcome. You're welcome. Oh my gosh. Soapbox. Total soapbox. Thank you for asking that. I know that was helpful to a lot of people watching this. All right. Again, if you want personalized help on how to use Facebook to grow your business, if you want my eyes on it, if you want my ears on it, if you want me to hold your hand and kick your butt, right, to help you get visible and build real relationships with people who are going to help you grow your business, whether you want to be on that dream podcast, you want me to help you write a kick butt pitch like mine is that gets me accepted left and right on these big shows, right, that's been tested and fine-tuned, or you want to just reach out with a small business page or start a group, come up with content that works for you, the intensive is a great fit for you to consider, and you can use the link that I dropped earlier to book a call with me to talk about that and kind of like figure out if it's right for you and your business. You guys, thank you for joining me. Thank you for sharing this is helpful for you, Meryl. Thank you for your questions. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm so glad this is something that you wanted to learn more about. If you're watching this on the replay, if you come up with other questions, come back over here to this thread and drop those questions and I'll answer them for you, okay? Have a wonderful day. Go make some real friends and some real connections and some real person-to-person interaction on Facebook. Go back and watch all the things not to do so that you make sure you're not doing them. Do the things I shared instead, and you will start to see results. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.